Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. Folks, we are giving you some tasty morsels in the world of sports, entertainment, and odd news from the past week. And we have it all ready to go on this rundown here and ready to talk about it with you. But before we dive into all of the news, Mikey, my friend, how are you doing? What is up in Costanzo country?
I'm doing pretty good. Oh, geez.
There you go. Yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
Now I'm doing a little bit better. I've been pretty good.
There we go. Yeah.
This past weekend, we
The soundboard wasn't ready. The soundboard was still hungover.
it happens.
Yeah.
But no, this past weekend we got up to some holiday cheer. We had gingerbread house decorating over at Jordan's family's house. So
Yeah.
got together with her family, the nieces and nephews, and we made some gingerbread houses.
If you want to see the video feed,
got some
there we
pictures
go.
on the video. So that is the gingerbread house that me and Jordan designed. For those of
looks
you
good.
on the video feed, it looked right. Like, I'm pretty proud of it. That's why I actually sent you the pictures. I'm like, you got to put these up.
Yeah.
Just share
You
with
even
everybody.
got the little road that leads to the house
So
done well.
I want to point out the road. That was really cool. So for those of you not on the video feed, it is a road that is lined with Mike and Ike's, and then the cobblestones, I guess, are alternating rows of red and green M&Ms, but I also piped in icing to, like, make the grout in between the bricks. No, like, literally,
Wow.
doesn't that look so cathartic, though?
You
Tell me that
are
doesn't...
are you more a baker than a chef now?
I dabble in both, but
Yeah.
I've been,
that came out really well, Mike.
it did come out good,
Look
right?
at that.
And I don't know if you noticed in the one corner, there's a little toboggan with little snowman marshmallow people on that. Yeah, so that's what me and Jordan did. I think ours was the best.
Is this a competition? Are you competing? Because that looks pretty good.
No, it's not a competition per se, but I like to think that I won anyway. just in general, I won. But no, for those
These are the rules I've just made up.
have you ever decorated gingerbread houses?
I think we did. We used to do that when I was in grade school.
Because do you remember how difficult it is?
Yeah, and I get frustrated, and I don't know. I lose interest.
It is legitimately challenging. So my parents were there as well. We did the two families getting together. And my parents, they started off on the wrong foot. They dropped one of their walls, and it broke in half.
There you go.
So right away, they started
Break the wall down.
They had to mend their wall. Then they couldn't get their icing to pipe correctly. Then the walls weren't standing upright.
Shouldn't your dad be good at that though? He's an engineer.
Not that kind of engineering, I guess, because
he can't handle drywall.
their house was started off by falling apart, but they did get it together, and a good time was had by all. But gingerbread house decorating, that is no joke, man.
Yeah,
that is no joke.
Yeah, here's maybe a controversial take. I'm not too crazy on gingerbread.
Like, in general?
Yeah, I'll have one or two for the season, but then I'm good. I don't need a whole gingerbread house. There's no reality in which I would eat a whole gingerbread house.
Oh no, that's not for eating. And in fact, Jordan's mom was like, should I just preemptively super glue them for everyone? And we were like, no. Where's the fun in that? I don't want to super glue them. I want to build it. I would not eat that. It is not. I was eating all the little candies that I was decorating with, but I wouldn't eat the actual gingerbread because it's not meant to be eaten. You know what I mean? It's stodgy, stiff, you know what I mean? Would you actually eat them?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you would?
I remember my mom would make a gingerbread house, and we would bring it in to grade school, and we would break it open, and we'd all have a piece.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So she would make it though, because these were the store bought you just it's a little kit that you buy.
I think there was I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask my mom if she baked it or.
You gotta check in with, because I assume if you make it yourself, it probably tastes better than the this was thick, hard gingerbread.
It actually was plaster.
It probably tasted like it. It probably tasted like it.
Yeah.
But
You didn't actually. It wasn't gingerbread. You actually constructed a little house.
Yes. It
Yeah.
is. It is a livable structure.
Yeah, actually, there's actually a gnome in there right now. Yeah.
Yes.
Where
absolutely.
is it? Is it here or is it somewhere else?
It's still at Jordan's mom's house.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
sorry, they're taking over.
They probably threw it out by now. I mean, it's been
Nope, the gnomes have taken over the house.
The gnomes have taken over the whole house.
Yep.
Oh, no.
Sorry. Good luck.
But yeah, so that's what I got up to, decorating gingerbread houses. It
looks good.
It was a fun time. Thank you.
Yeah.
I ate way more Twizzlers than any human being should, because I was trying to
Is
make
that your favorite candy? Twizzler?
not even close.
Yeah.
But I was eating them to like build stuff, like because I needed like half a Twizzler here or like a quarter Twizzler here. So what am I going to?
I might as well just knob off the end.
That's what I did.
Yep.
I was biting off the end, then nibbling it down to size. Then I got to do it with another, then another. By the end of the day, I had like probably like a whole bag of Twizzlers when you add it all up.
You represent what I detest. You're a punk walking in the back door with your hand open, looking for a free lick.
Looking for a free lick, aren't you?
I was. And listen, I think only me and my dad understood the assignment, because every candy we went to decorate with, we had to sample.
Yes.
And nobody else was picking like that. And I'm like, isn't that kind of the point? You got to sample the decorations before you you eat some of the gumdrops, some of the M&Ms, some of the Twizzlers, some of the No?
Yeah. You got to you're it's quality control.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's important.
I don't want to build with subpar ingredients.
Right. It's important.
That's what I'm
get
saying.
you.
Thank you. Anyway, what were you up to, Rich?
Yeah, I played a whole lot of Alan Wake 2. I'm catching up on
nice.
that. Yeah, and I love the whole universe. I love Remedy. I love the fact that they're connecting Alan Wake with Control, and they're hyping up this Control universe. I love it. This is great.
I really, really loved Alan Wake 2. I love the connections. I won't say anything because I know you're like in the end game, so I don't want to spoil anything. But I remember after the fact when people were commenting on like the Lake House DLC, everyone was like, "Oh, Alan Wake 2 is basically Control 1.5." I'm like, it's not even close. They're completely different games.
It's its own thing.
They're completely different games.
Yeah.
So I don't know where these commenters were getting that from. Alan Wake 2 completely stands on its own and it is a worthwhile experience.
Yeah. So, I can't agree with that statement.
Yeah.
Because
Gameplay,
it has its
story.
It has its own feel. It has its own themes. Yeah, it's not the same.
There's connections,
it's not enough.
but that's it.
Yeah,
It's just
there's a difference between a connection and just needing. You don't. Basically, what I'm trying to get at, they stand on their own. You don't need Control to understand Alan Wake.
Absolutely
really.
Correct.
You know.
Yeah.
See, the difference is like,
and vice versa too.
The thing I think of is like that book of Boba Fett. You need Mandalorian. You can't. You don't. You have no idea what's happening in Book of Boba Fett.
Right.
If you didn't watch Mandalorian.
Because at a certain point in Book of Boba Fett, it becomes
Mandalorian 2.5.
Like there's like whole episodes where they mostly follow the Mandalorian.
Right.
Alan Wake 2 is nothing like that.
Right. So it's not that bad. No.
Yeah.
They stand on their own 2 feet. They're fine.
So back to your point about the universe. I love that they're creating the universe, and I think that both properties exist in their own little corners.
Yeah.
And they're not relying upon each other. They enhance each other, and I think they're both worthwhile experiences for people to check out.
Yes. 100% agree.
Yeah.
All right, but I'm going to keep it short and sweet because we got a lot of sports news to get to.
Yes.
It is crazy how many things happened in the sports world. So let's get to it. It is time to launch into the first batch of topics in the Sports Sampler.
So you're not good at sports. It's a very small part of life.
Sports. In your face. Ha ha!
That's right. Sports coming at you in your face here. And this is somewhat shocking. I think it's shocking news, to be honest with you. But you know what? I guess for those that are in the know with the NFL coaching drama, they know that nobody wants to put up with an aging dictator coach person in charge.
Yeah.
Because Bill Belichick has decided to settle for college football, and he is going to coach with the University of North Carolina, UNC. What?
Yeah, that was a very curious announcement that popped up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so to give everybody the full context, I mean, consider 6-time Super Bowl winning head coach Bill Belichick.
He was challenging Don Shula's all-time winning record.
Yeah, I mean, up until
No thanks. Guess
up
I'm not gonna
until
do it.
the past couple years, he was like de facto, quote unquote, the best coach in the NFL.
Yeah.
In NFL history, perhaps, before Andy Reid won his back-to-back Super Bowls.
Yeah, you're right.
So that's where we started. Then he gets fired / mutually
Well, how
from.
about he loses Tom Brady?
He loses Tom Brady, right?
That's pretty big.
Starts to struggle. Then he's either fired / mutually part ways with the Patriots. He couldn't find a head coaching job, or he didn't want to take a head coaching job. So he starts a podcast with the Mannings. I know he didn't start it with them, but he's like
He
on
joined
there
them
all the time, right?
Yeah.
Then there was a rumor that he tried to inquire about the Jets vacancy,
Yeah, which that would have been hilarious.
and the Jets were like, "No, thank you."
Yeah.
And then now he's
That's kind of what happens when you write your resignation note on a napkin to them.
yeah. Oh, is that?
You didn't know that?
Oh, historically, yeah. When he
Yeah.
coached it the first time, yeah.
Yeah, coach. He was there for one day,
Well, yeah.
and then he got the offer from New England, and he's like, "No,
He's like-
I'm going to go to New England."
Peace.
Yeah,
Done.
and wrote it on the back of a napkin.
Yeah.
I resign as HC of NYJ. He couldn't even write out the name of the franchise.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah. So they're like, no. We
that's
are
what happens.
100% done with you. Yes. Now he finds himself coaching for UNC, which is not known for their football program.
No, they're a basketball school.
Big basketball school. Maybe their thought is we can become a big football school. I don't see it. I don't understand. I don't sure, Bill Belichick will have some success, but I think that it's not a great match.
No.
I don't think he wants to coach 18 and 19-year-old kids. You know? It's just such a bizarre move to me.
Yeah.
He barely wanted to coach professionals, from what I understand. He was
Yeah.
always just like an ornery bastard.
And basically, college football is starting to become NFL junior.
Yeah.
Because the players now have rights now. They can transfer. They don't have to play for the college that they get signed to.
Yeah.
I think there was a feeling that, due to the way recruitment was, you owned, for lack of a better word, own the players that grew up in your system.
Not anymore.
It's not like that now.
No. In fact, I would say there's
Nick Saban hasn't come back to college football.
Yeah. I'd say that there's way more administrative and paperwork and regulation type stuff to deal with in the NCAA compared to the NFL. At the NFL, he had full free reign, basically.
Well,
in
he
New
was also given, though, both general manager
Yeah.
and head coaching jobs. I think the biggest problem is Bill Belichick wanted to also be the GM, and nobody wants Bill Belichick as
No.
the GM.
No.
They want you as the head coach because they know you've got the football IQ, but his draft record and his management of talent was always atrocious with New England.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think he was willing to give it up.
Yeah,
He
no.
wanted to walk into an organization and own the organization again, and nobody's willing to do that.
Right. So, yeah, now he finds himself coaching for UNC. From what you told me, his dad is an alum there.
Apparently, that's the draw, is what I heard. Yeah.
What I'm reading between the lines is nobody wanted me,
Yes.
so now daddy got me a pity job,
Yeah.
basically.
Somehow after death at 78 how old is he? 70-something years old?
Hey, look, those legacy students, that's a powerful thing.
Dig his bones up.
Dig his bones up.
Where's that school uniform? Put that on him.
So, yeah, Bill Belichick, UNC.
Yeah, crazy headline there. And that's also a shame, too, because everyone thought he was going to be on pace to break Don Shula's record, and now he won't. He can't.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, well.
yeah, that will stand.
But moving quickly along
Yes.
in the NFL, there's other stories to get to.
Yes.
We got
let's get to Eagles. Yep.
Yeah, we got to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. We were down on them a little last week. Very concerned with what we were seeing from the team heading into the big cross-state rivalry with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yep. But somehow the Eagles were able to push aside all the drama, and they pulled out a win at home against the Steelers, 27-13.
What does this guy think he's an Indian?
Like fresh eggs?
Yeah. Make it 10 in a row. This is a crazy winning streak. I believe the longest winning streak that the Eagles have ever had as a franchise.
That is indeed a franchise record. 10 wins in a row, and the past couple of wins have come against really quality opponents. We had the Ravens, we had the Steelers within, 3 weeks? So it's not like we're getting a lot of pushovers. I will say I was pleasantly surprised by the way that the Eagles handled the game.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts gets to the press conference afterwards. He goes, "Is that what you all wanted to see?"
Yeah.
Yes, that is what we wanted to see, but like on a more consistent basis. I do have to take issue with the way he approached that. He walks up there like he just dropped 500 yards on the Steelers, threw for 290. It was impressive, but to put it into perspective, that was more than his 2 previous games combined. So he's been struggling recently, and then he had one good game, but I need to see that be more consistent and more regular for you to get up to the podium and be like, that's what y'all wanted to see. Like, yes, that is what we want to see out of our $50 million a year quarterback is throwing the football. Is that a crazy thing for me to feel a little peeved at?
Yes and no. I understand because
I like it because it was a fun clip, but
yes.
Also it's like irksome.
But the thing is though, I think you got to put everything into perspective. The Eagles are on a tear right now with this 10-game winning streak. I mean, you can't ask for much more out of that offense. What they gave up during or what they handed us in that game.
400 yards against the Steelers, much vaunted defense. But the thing that impressed me the most was the 10.5-minute drive to just kill the rest of the game.
That was a great drive.
It was like...
And you just saw Mike Tomlin just look deflated.
Just angry and angrier, yeah.
He thought he was going to get the ball back.
Oh, yeah.
Because what was it? It was 4th and 6, and he punted it with 11 minutes to go.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, we'll probably get the ball back. And
Nope.
The Eagles held on to it. And they drove 98 yards. It was almost the length of the field.
And we could have scored. We chose not to.
Yeah, because they ran out of timeouts.
Yeah. But just to really put a feather in the cap, that was an incredible drive, and the score could have been even greater if we really wanted to actually score there at the end.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, that is what playoff teams do. They own the clock at the end, and they put away the game.
They find a way to win. It's not always pretty. It comes in many different forms, but they find a way to win.
Yeah. I do have concerns.
Okay.
I'm worried. I'm worried about Saquon Barkley. He did not look 100% in this game. And
absolutely.
I know that I know Steelers have a top 5 rushing defense. So I'm sure they made a concerted effort. We are not letting this guy. If he's the back in the field, he's not coming through us.
Yeah.
So I get that, but he just didn't seem to have the same explosiveness, and I'm worried there might be a hidden injury or something.
Yeah, I'm worried that there's a lot of wear and tear on him this year. We are featuring him so heavily, and this is, I think, the issue that I've had up to this point is that, yes, it's great to have a ground and pound running back who you can always rely on, but eventually you got to change your tires.
Yeah.
You're going to run them bald.
Well,
you can't do that in real life or in the NFL.
They did put in Gainwell a lot this game, so I hope that helped.
They had to. They got to give Saquon a little bit of rest. They got to get the passing game going more, which they thankfully did. Both of our receivers went over 100 yards in this game against the Steelers, so that was very encouraging. But I still need to see that balance from week to week. It's not enough to do it. Where 3 weeks in a row, we only run the ball, and Jalen Hurts has 300 yards over the course of 3 weeks. And then 1 week, he throws for 300. We can't keep flip-flopping. We got to get it going on all cylinders all at once. That's what truly elite playoff teams do, is get it going on all cylinders at once.
Yeah. But I think for right now, I think everyone can breathe a little bit easier. Because at this right now...
This was one of our biggest tests.
This was a big test. And also, the Eagles are really in pole position here. I mean, they would have to lose out, and the Washington Commanders would have to win out in order for them to lose one of the top 4 slots.
Yeah, statistically, it's still possible, just highly unlikely.
Yeah. So I think we're fine in that regard. However, though, if your goal was to actually go for the number 1 seed... I think it's not happening. And I got to talk about this next little item here. I want to talk about the Minnesota Vikings.
Okay.
Is that weird?
It is a little weird, but it's understandable because they're directly in the Eagles' path to the number 1 seed.
I feel like nobody is giving the Vikings dap. Like, really, have you been watching like ESPN and like the NFL talk shows?
Nobody talks about them.
Nobody's talking about the Vikings. They are 12-2 just with the Lions.
Yeah.
And a couple things I want to point out, and this is why I want to make it its own segment here. So, first, I'll give you some red meat, Mikey.
Okay.
Because I think you're 100% right that Kirk Cousins is overrated. I mean, this is literally the same team that the Vikings had last year, and maybe just a couple pieces, removed or upgraded. They don't even have their first-round pick in action. J.J. McCarthy is out for the season.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that just by going with Sam Darnold as opposed to Kirk Cousins, that has made the difference from, a 9-8 team to a 12-2 team?
I'll tell you one better. How about when the Vikings went 13-3 with Case Keenum, and then Kirk Cousins comes in to take them to the promised land and takes a 13-3 team and makes them a 9-7 team?
Yeah. This is damning.
Thank you. I feel like the universe is finally
you
recognizing it.
Yeah, and you said it from day one. There is something wrong with Kirk Cousins.
Sorry, I stand corrected. The Vikings went 13-3 with Case Keenum. The very next year, they get Kirk Cousins. He was supposed to take them to the Super Bowl. They went 8-7-1.
Yep. Yeah.
They lost 5 whole wins by getting a better quarterback.
Supposedly.
Yeah. And then again, same team, but in reverse. They went from 7-10 with Cousins to 12-2 with
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold, who was supposed to be a bust, now is looking at payday.
He was supposed to be the bridge quarterback and welcome J.J. McCarthy as the franchise quarterback.
What do you do now?
Yeah. Wow. The Vikings really do have a little bit of a conundrum on their hands, because if Sam Darnold wins the division and gets the number 1 seed, what? Do you not re-sign him? Do you not bring him back? This is the ultimate risk-reward situation, because this is it. I think he's only on a 1-year contract. He's a free agent next year. So, yeah, what do? Do you run with J.J. McCarthy?
Oh,
he got hurt. You don't even have anything to judge him with.
I think that as tough of a pill as it is to swallow, you have to sign Sam Darnold. The reason I say that is because you really don't know what you have with J.J. McCarthy.
Right. You don't have one single snap.
Quarterbacks, we talked about it a little last week when we talked about Jalen Hurts and about how people were calling for him to be cut or benched or traded or whatever. Quarterbacks are such a rare commodity in the league. There's really only 12 quality quarterbacks in any given season.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of middlemen, journey guys, career backups, and then you have your busts, right? Sam Darnold this year is one of those top 10 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
You can't be thanks, see you later, and just let him walk. That's insane, because you're going from proven commodity who has won you 12 games to a giant question mark. Could the question mark be the next Tom Brady? Maybe. However, you have a guy who's already won you 12.
Yes.
And the guy who could be, the question mark could be the next Tom Brady, he's still under contract for 4 more years. So there's no reason that you can't let him sit and learn and grow, a la Aaron Rodgers, a la Jordan Love, and just keep rolling with Darnold. And if Darnold at any point starts to lag a little bit, starts to show some wear and tear, or, doesn't reach the same potential, then you cut him. But you got to sign him to at least a 3-year deal.
Yeah.
At least.
I think you just got to give
gotta
him the
do it.
blank check.
You got to.
Because this is amazing that he has taken literally the same team last year, and they are contenders for the number 1 seed. The only team that's stopping them is their own team in their own division, the Detroit Lions. They're also at 12-2.
And that's the only reason that we're not talking about the Vikings, because they're sandwiched between, I think, the very best team in the league, the Detroit Lions, and then Green Bay right behind them, nipping on their heels. But everybody knows Green Bay.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's like, Jordan Love, the Packers, historic. You know, nobody says that about the Vikings. So they're sandwiched between these two teams that are getting all the media, and they're just flying right under the radar, which I think benefits a team.
Yeah.
Because when you get too much publicity like the Eagles, you almost lose games to the Panthers.
Yes.
When you get no publicity like the Vikings, you end up like the 2017 Philadelphia Eagles.
So I just want to point this out because a lot of people are saying, oh, we got to worry about the Lions. Got to worry about the Lions. Can the Eagles take it away from the Lions? I'm more worried. I don't think the Eagles can take it away from the Vikings. The Vikings are just playing quality football under the radar, like you said. And also, unfortunately for the Eagles, they went they have their all their wins against the AFC. They lost their 2 losses are against NFC opponents, so they don't have the tiebreaker against either the Vikings or the Lions. So
we need both teams to somehow lose twice.
Right, which unfortunately
we need to win out, and they both need to lose games.
Which I don't think is going to happen because Week 18 is Vikings at Lions.
Yeah.
Which, wow, could you imagine if that determines the number 1 seed?
It most likely will.
That is crazy. And then the loser's going to get stuck with the number 5 seed?
Yeah.
I'm
that
sorry.
Sucks.
I'm going to go back to a proposition that you said you didn't like from me.
What?
I really do think that after you get the teams that are supposed to be in the playoffs, it should be reseeded.
What do you mean?
You get your 7 teams, how you that stays put.
Okay.
But at that point, it should be reseeded.
I don't understand.
A division winner doesn't guarantee a home playoff game.
Oh, yeah.
You choose your 7.
Yeah.
If you win your division, you get in the playoffs. I'll
Right.
give you that.
Right.
But if you're 9-7 and we're letting a 12 and possibly 12-13 win team and they got to go on the road, I don't like it. I think it should be you get your 7 teams and then you reseed them.
Yeah.
I mentioned that once and you gave me
Did I not like that?
You did not like it. Yeah.
What did I say?
You gave me guff.
I gave you guff.
Yeah, you gave me some tough guff.
I can't remember.
Rough.
Rough guff?
Rough guff from
Tough rough guff?
Tough rough guff.
I honestly can't remember why. I guess because maybe it devalues winning the division.
Yeah.
But I can see a possibility where reseeding would be beneficial in cases like this. Because as it stands now, you got Tampa Bay and LA. They're going to host a playoff game potentially with 9 wins.
Tampa Bay is
maybe 8 wins. Tampa Bay.
LA Rams, they're on the upswing. They could win out. But Tampa Bay and
the LA Rams also have a tough division, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to slide into these playoffs at 8 and 9.
Well, it depends on how they finish, but yeah. Also, to tie everything up together now, Atlanta is competing for the NFC South, and they just benched Kirk Cousins. So there you go. Nice little bow to wrap up everything there. Screw the NFC South and screw Kirk Cousins.
Definitely screw Kirk Cousins, just to put the final bow on that. Like, consider they are 1 game away from the top spot in that division, and they're looking at Kirk Cousins, and they're like, no, I don't think so.
How about no?
Like, that is crazy. Could you imagine making a playoff push and then deciding at that point, we don't like our starting quarterback?
We don't like the guy we're paying $100 million to.
Which, to circle back to the initial point you made about the Vikings, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So the Minnesota Vikings are just in a very unique spot right now. And I think everyone needs to keep an eye on them. I don't know why nobody's talking about them. I hear a lot of press on the Lions and definitely on the Eagles because that's what we talk about. But I do not hear a pip out of the Vikings organization. And
they're that awkward 5th seed. It's like they're not a division winner, but that's only because you have the best team in the NFL.
But they still could be.
They still could be. Yeah.
It's not set in stone.
It is 100% coming down to week 18.
That would be fascinating. If so, that's got to be the last game of the season. That's got to be the Sunday night closer.
They got to flex that to, I don't know.
Sunday night. That's what it would be.
They
it would be the
gotta.
Sunday night closer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it would be must-watch TV.
But speaking of looking ahead.
Yes. Let's get to our weekly segment where we preview 4 games for the upcoming slate of NFL games with the Fantastic Four picks. All right. Fantastic Four mode activated. What are the games?
All right. First up, we have an AFC West rivalry. A push for the playoffs. We have the Denver Broncos at the LA Chargers. This is a Thursday night game, so go check that out ASAP. But, Rich, both these teams, of course, far behind the Kansas City Chiefs, but still right there in the thick of things for the wild card race. Who do you like in this one?
Yeah, I hate to say it, but
This could make or break it for the AFC playoffs almost.
Yeah, but I have a feeling that the AFC West is going to send 3 teams.
That would be impressive. They very well could.
The Broncos, as much as I've kind of been poo-pooing on Sean Payton, they just won't go away. And Bo Nix has really looked to be like a Drew Brees comparison, and it's working in Denver. But the Chargers, I still like, the Harbaugh way. I like Justin Herbert. Their rushing attack is very sound, and just traditionally, I don't like the away team going into a Thursday night game short week. So I'm gonna be biased, and I'm gonna stick with the Chargers.
Well, that all makes sense, but I think that the Broncos have a better defense here. And also, LA is just not a good place to play if you're LA. They notoriously have bad home crowds. So, a little bit less of a home field advantage going into enemy territory there, even with the division rivalry. There's a reason why Denver is ahead of the Chargers right now in the division, and I think it's going to stick that way. I think that Bo Nix is really impressive. I think maybe even marginally better than Justin Herbert right now as it stands. Yes, the Chargers have a better ground game, but some injuries there to contend with. So I'm going to go with the defensive-minded Denver Broncos, even on the road.
All right.
So a difference of opinion there, but let's see how we pick this next one. It's the battle for the AFC North. The Pittsburgh Steelers are traveling to the Baltimore Ravens. Both of these teams licking recent wounds from the Philadelphia Eagles. Rich, who ends up topping this division? This might be able to flip-flop it here, I think.
I believe their first meeting, Steelers won.
Let me see if I can pull that up.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the first meeting, Steelers won it.
In the last matchup, the Steelers won by 2 points. Yes.
Yeah.
This is going to be a tight one.
Yeah, both of these teams are kind of evenly matched. Yeah, I'm going to go with the flip-flop. It's tough to win twice against a division opponent in a season, so I'll go Ravens at home. I mean, Lamar Jackson's still having an MVP year. I mean, I know they might not be running away with the division, but he is still having MVP numbers. And just that having that 1-2 combo of Lamar and Derrick Henry that's brutal. That's going to be tough for any defense to stop, even the Steelers. So I'm going to go Ravens.
Yeah, the Steelers have that vaunted defense, but they are beatable. The Ravens have the perfect formula to play the Steelers the way that the Eagles just did. And I think they should be looking to the Eagles to how to play the Steelers, and that's just don't let them get the ball. I mean, it's
Which you can with a running game.
Which you can with a running game, yeah. They have to replicate those drives that the Eagles put together, 7.5 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 and a half minutes. You do that, which you can with Derrick Henry. Don't break off the huge 20-yard runs. Don't bomb it down the field. 3.5 yards, 100 times wins you the game because the other team can't get on the field. That's all it takes. I think the Ravens can do that. I'm going Ravens as well. Next up, we have an AFC playoff preview. The Houston Texans are traveling to Kansas City to face off against the Chiefs. This is a Saturday game.
Yeah, and we got a problem.
Game. Uh-oh.
We got a problem here because Patrick Mahomes is questionable for this game.
He is.
With a high ankle sprain.
Don't worry, they'll pump him full of some kind of weird black magic. We all used to make fun of how Bill Belichick was like sacrificing kids in the locker room. Patrick Mahomes can't get injured. I don't understand. When we played him in the Super Bowl, he like broke his leg in half. He's like, I'm fine.
Wasn't
so
quite that bad, but yeah.
It seemed that bad at first. Then he goes on to crush us. He'll be in.
You have no doubt. Wow, you're really confident.
He'll
What
be
are
in.
you, a doctor over there?
Yeah, I'm Dr. Mike. Yep.
I'm going to be
But on a serious note, what do you think?
I'm going to be simple. If Mahomes is in, I trust the Chiefs. If it's Carson Wentz starting, I don't know.
Or does this start the
A
Carson Wentz
backup
Yep,
Super Bowl run?
yep. With the Chiefs and Andy Reid? I mean, it's almost laid out in the stars, Rich.
If it is, I will stop watching football.
You're just like, you know what? I don't like sports anymore.
Yeah.
I'm done.
But I'm going to go with if Mahomes is in, Chiefs. If not, I think Texans have a shot to hand the Chiefs a loss. I could see that happening. The Texans are desperate. They gotta clinch their division. The Colts are actually on the upswing, so they got to keep pace with them.
Yeah, as good as the Texans were last year and as hot as they started, they really have not been that great.
Yeah, their offensive line has regressed a little bit.
Yeah, they have a really good defense, but offensively, they're just struggling to keep pace with teams sometimes. It really does come down to Mahomes.
Yeah.
Even if Mahomes isn't in, as long as Carson Wentz isn't like completely neurotic and broken, they should still be able to beat the Texans. They have a decent ground game. They have Travis Kelce. They got receivers, good defense. On paper, the Chiefs are just better, just outright better. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But next up, and finally, we have our very own hometown Philadelphia Eagles traveling to the capital of this great country to face off against the Washington Commanders. Rich, I don't know why I got weirdly Patriots doing like a political ad there.
Yeah, you're right there.
Yeah, but who's going to win this one, the Eagles or the Washington Commanders? Who do you like? This is another tough matchup.
It is. And the worst part is it's one of those where sure, we want the Eagles to get the number 1 seed, but in the grand scheme of things, if they lose this game, it's not the end of the world. You know, they're still going to be on track to win the division. The Eagles would have to have a complete collapse. Like that's never happened, right?
Yeah, exactly. I don't understand. Are you saying that you want them to lose?
No, I don't want them to lose. No, but it wouldn't surprise me if
they did.
If they come out a little flat in this game in Washington.
Wow. So are you picking Commanders?
I'm still gonna go Eagles, but
Okay.
it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. You know, I said against the Panthers, it felt like kind of like a trap game. I'm kind of getting similar vibes from this one, just like you are, where it's like I feel like a lot of times we overlook the Commanders.
Yeah.
And they should not be overlooked this year. Like,
no, they're a playoff team this year.
They are very solidly a playoff team, and yes, they're not the Vikings or the Lions, but remember, one of those losses is also to us. So if they had not faced us, they would be potentially 10-4 right now. Double-digit win team. They're a tough opponent.
It's gonna be a tough out.
Division matchup. I mean, what are the odds we sweep the division? Very slim. At Washington, a team that always gives us trouble, even when we're good or bad, doesn't matter. I feel like the Eagles should win this game, but like you, I have serious concerns. I feel like we're flying too high right now. Like, oh,
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts can throw again. Surprise, surprise, 71 yards passing next week.
Yeah. They're it's going to be a lot to carry this winning streak if this actually goes the full length and goes into the postseason.
Yeah.
That's going to be a lot to hold on
I'd
to.
rather them get the monkey off their back now than in the wild card.
Yeah.
That would suck.
Right. So
I'm still saying Eagles,
right.
but I barely believe it.
Yeah. I wouldn't put my money on this game.
The point spread's only 3, so the
Yeah.
bookies think it's going to be close too.
Yeah. But I think in the end, Eagles probably do pull out the win. But
Here's hoping.
yeah, Washington's going to be a tough out. Do not sleep on them. And there you go. That is our Fantastic Four picks for Week 16 of the NFL season. Wow. It's already week 16. This is flying by here.
Just flying along.
There's only 3 games left of the season. That's it. It's time for everyone to take stock of what they have and maybe jettison their quarterback, because apparently there's a couple teams that are aching to do so already.
Yeah.
And one of them is your Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins on the move again.
Yeah. Also, another one might be Aaron Rodgers, and that would be a good thing.
I already assumed he was going to be done.
I can't believe. So, of course, just random thing. I'm putting it on my Netflix.
Yeah.
And what's the first thing that comes on? There's another freaking Aaron Rodgers documentary. Why? Stop following this guy around.
Another? Was there one before?
Yeah. Well, sorry, I count Hard Knocks, but that's not really.
Oh, that's
sure. It was about the Jets. Sorry.
But it was about the Jets.
It was about Aaron Rodgers.
Because of Aaron Rodgers. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
So did you watch it?
No. I was good. I just need
Are you going to?
No, I don't need to see
The Darkness Retreat?
Enigma, or it's called. Yeah, it's like really
Enigma. Oh, barf.
Yeah, thank you. All right, well, there you go. We're gonna leave it there, and that'll end the sports sampler. But don't go anywhere, because we still got the entertainment entree and the non-fortune cookie odd news still to come. And I'm going to bring back an old segment in the entertainment entree, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break. This is the Crispy Noodle Podcast.
Ready for the weekend? Happy Friday. Hi, my name's Marie, and I'm an artist who's been making Happy Friday doodles every week for over 7 years. And now you can own my art collection in this Volume 1 and Volume 2 art series. These doodles span across multiple themes, yearly festivities, various countries, languages, and more. Both coffee table books have something for everyone and are the perfect conversation starter or gift for a friend. Really, anyone who enjoys a good weekend. Available on Amazon, Ingram, BookBaby,
Barnes & Noble,
and more. Visit happyfridaydoodles.com/books and get your copies today. Let's celebrate the best day of the week. Happy Friday.
Just a moment, you just assured me that I could speak.
Sit down inside the car. We're not assuring anything. We're under arrest.
Look, I'm under what?
Come on.
Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest. Have a look at the headlock here. See that chap over there? Get your hand off my penis! This is the bloke who got me on the penis before.
Get some cups.
Why did you do this to me?
Hop in the car. Get some cups.
For what reason? What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? Oh, that's a nice headlock, sir. Oh, yes. I see that you know your judo well. Good one. And you, sir, are you waiting to receive my limp penis? How dare get your hands off me.
No, we've only got one cup.
Ta-ta and farewell.
It's all right. Just get him in the car.
One cup, look. They even broke.
Yeah, we're back here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Yes. Sports is in full swing. I'm sure you're happy, Mike.
Oh, yeah.
You got the NFL season in full swing.
Yep.
Well, I'll tell you what, in the segment that I'm going to bring back, there's going to be a little bit more football references, but not too much. It's not fully outright sports, but it is wacky, and it is something that will deserve our attention. So stick around in just a minute for that. Before that, let's officially launch into the second part of our show with the entertainment entree.
And now, the latest in movies.
guy writes to movies. Dear Die Hard, you rock. Especially when that guy was on the roof.
Music.
I know what that is. That's music.
Video games.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
Celebrities.
You really know Warren Beatty?
Yes, I do. I took a leak next to him once at the Golden Globes.
And more.
You were the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world.
This is the entertainment entree.
All right, officially in entertainment entree territory, and it is time to bring back an old segment I used to do, Random Sound Clip of the Week. Woo! Yeah! I haven't done this in a while. And I think this is a good juxtaposition because we're coming out of sports.
Yeah.
And about to get into entertainment, so we're not fully into entertainment yet. We're like 90% in entertainment, which I think is...
We're transitioning.
Yeah, which is where I think this clip resides, because this is a clip from Jerry Jones himself, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys. He goes on a radio show at 105.3 The Fan every week to recap the state of Dallas or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Whatever they do in Dallas. Crazy Dallas people. I don't know. But I don't know why, but Jerry Jones decided to admit a startling meal that he likes to enjoy.
Okay. All right. Let's
yeah, and it's not
from the man himself.
By the way, it's not this one.
I want me some glory hole.
That is not the meal. It is not a glory hole. That's not that one.
I want me some glory hole.
But it is something else very unique. So without further ado, here is the random sound clip of the week from Jerry Jones.
I've eaten a lot of raccoon. Yes. The answer is yes. And I've eaten it. I've eaten it hunting. I've actually had it served by my mom at the table away from hunting. And I have eaten raccoon. And yes, it's not uncommon at all. I'll tell you something that is one of my favorites is squirrel. And it's wonderful, and my mother could do a great job of it. And we all had our favorite pieces, and my dad and sister, I have one sibling, a sister, and they would fight over, not fight, but my mom and I, they were just my sister and I as far as siblings, my mom and I wouldn't even ask for the brain in a squirrel.
Oh, man.
There you go. What the hell is happening in Dallas? They're eating squirrel brain. This is why Dallas is having a losing season.
That was, well, you know what's funny is it wasn't even the types of animals that was alarming. It was just the way he was talking about it was so bizarre. He's like, yes, that's true. Raccoon, yes, indeed.
It's one of my fondest memories.
I had it with honey and at the table without honey. What? That's so bizarre.
Yeah.
Who talks about food like that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that weird? That's weird.
I love the brains.
Yeah.
What is he, a zombie? What the hell happened? What the hell's happening in Dallas?
What prompted that response though? Were they just like, how's Dak feeling recovering from his injury? I do eat raccoon. I do indeed eat that raccoon.
Yeah.
And like, okay. Anyway,
it was something about hunting. They were talking about going out on a hunt.
Oh, is he saying hunting or honey?
Hunting.
Oh, hunting. He ate it hunting.
Yes.
And at the table.
Yes.
Not hunting.
Yeah, correct. Hunting.
Right.
But it still is weird as far as I'm concerned.
It still doesn't make any sense.
And also, really going back into a deep cut, we interviewed the Raccoon Man as one of our first Odd News bits. He would be very sad to hear.
He would be very sad.
I hope the Raccoon Man is not a Cowboys fan. Because Jerry Jones is eating your raccoon.
Maybe that's where that raccoon went.
Jerry Jones went down and got it.
Maybe.
Jerry Jones went down to Georgia looking for something to eat. He was in a bind, way behind, looking for a meal.
The devil went down to Georgia.
Well,
but then Jerry went down to Georgia.
Jerry went down to Georgia. Looking for a squirrel.
Oh, my God. I'd listen to that song.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Come on now, Cowboys run. Do.
This is the rest of the show. It's just Rich singing, Jerry went down to Georgia. Jerry went down to Georgia, have himself some raccoon.
Yep. House of the Glory Hole. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't know. That was a curious one.
Yeah.
That was definitely a curious one.
Yeah.
Here's
Eating raccoons.
Here's the thing. I don't take an issue with the eating of raccoon or squirrel because, one, this is actually the second person I've heard this week admit to eating squirrel or raccoon. There was that also the one receiver. What the heck is his name? I think he plays for Carolina, the guy with the really thick accent. I just saw a clip of him talking about how he would eat raccoons.
What is happening? Why are people eating raccoons?
I
the
don't
economy's
know.
not that bad.
Also,
everyone, it's okay.
You don't need to eat raccoon.
Dear God.
But do you want to hear my truly controversial take? I don't believe raccoons are real because I've never seen one. Alive, dead, or in captivity. I've never seen a raccoon in person.
Okay.
I've never seen one. I don't believe
But we
it.
interviewed the Raccoon Man.
I still don't believe it.
Why did you say that we interviewed the Raccoon Man?
Because I only came to this realization now. Apparently everybody's seen a raccoon. I've never seen one. Have you seen a raccoon?
I think I have.
You have not seen one either, have you?
You know what? I did. One got stuck in our trash can in Norristown. That was hilarious.
No, I've never seen a raccoon.
And it was funny because it was a really tall trash can, and I guess the raccoon was dumpster diving, and he fell right in. But the trash can was so like deep he couldn't get back out.
So what did you do? Just like, kick it over and let him run away?
That was the thing. It's like we wanted to get him out, but like we don't want to take the risk of rabies.
No, right? Because then Michael Scott has to have a fun run for you.
Yeah. So I don't want to do that. So like me and my mom were going through the house. We're trying to find like where's the stick? Where's like the longest thing that we can like
to like push over the trash can.
And that we'd be at a safe distance. And luckily we found a broom. And I was just like,
so you knocked it over and then
ran away. You know?
And so what? And the raccoon just left?
Yeah, and then he just
But did you see it?
Yes.
Okay, so you did see one.
Yes.
So they are real.
Yes.
Damn.
Sorry, I shot your theory.
No, apparently everybody's seen a raccoon but me. I've literally never seen a raccoon.
Yeah. Yeah, they're real. Dude had one as a pet. They're real.
All right. Fine. Fine, I'll accept it.
Yeah. And don't tell me squirrels aren't real because we had I've
seen squirrels.
We had the Lebec Fin menu where they were having the squirrel cooking competition.
Yeah.
So we had that. So.
Yeah. You know what's funny? My my dad's eaten squirrel before.
There you go. See, there you go. Him and Jerry Jones can get along.
It's a hunting thing. They go hunting. I guess I don't know. I don't get it.
Sausage! There you go. Make a little squirrel sausage.
But here's the thing. I would eat it though. I would eat either squirrel or raccoon. I have no qualms with eating either one.
Okay.
Well, you know this about me. You know I like eating weird meats like kangaroo, ostrich.
You do. Is there a squirrel jerky?
Raccoon
jerky?
I've not seen either of those, but I would try it.
Okay. Well,
anyway,
if you're looking for a new place to dine, check out Jerry's World. Raccoons will be coming to the menu at AT&T Stadium very soon.
Dude, that would be a hit. I'm just saying.
All right. Well, now let's leave that world and get to the part of the show. You know, Mike is looking forward to everything, food and everything, but he really likes to look forward to entertainment. So let's jump into that with Mike's This Week in Entertainment. All right, Mikey, what should the people keep an eye out for besides eating raccoons and squirrels?
Well, besides those amazing exotic meats, they can also head to the theaters this week. 2 big movies coming out. First up, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 comes to theaters. In this outing, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles team up with their former enemy Dr. Robotnik to defeat a mysterious new foe in Shadow the Hedgehog. I don't know what else there is to say about Sonic and his movies. It's a good, fun time. It's a comedy action film. They're relatively short. If you're a fan of Sonic or have kids who are fans of Sonic, go check it out. It's probably not going to do very well critically, but it's still probably a pretty good time on the big screen. So that's Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Next up, though, this might be of interest to people looking for some of those fall and winter dramas. The Count of Monte Cristo comes to theaters this week. This is a story that has been told and retold countless times over the years. The story never changes. Edmond Dantes is arrested on his wedding day for a crime he did not commit. After a daring escape, he finds wealth and power as he assumes the identity of the Count of Monte Cristo to exact his revenge on those who wronged him. It's doing pretty good so far on Rotten Tomatoes. It has a 100% with an average score of 8 out of 10. It is a long one, though, at 3 hours. So make sure you book yourself enough time at the theaters to check this one out. But it should be a good winter drama to really sink your teeth into.
Limit your liquids.
Limit your liquids, indeed. But that's what we're looking forward to this week in entertainment.
All right, Mikey, thank you for that segment this week in entertainment. All right, but we got a lot of video game news to get to. The Video Game Awards happened. Where do you want to start, Mike?
Yeah, so I guess we'll just start with the big winners of the awards because the awards are twofold. It's both an awards show, but it's also a lot of announcements, and we'll get to the announcements in just a bit. But to get the important stuff out of the way, up top, Astrobot wins big at the Game Awards. This was PlayStation's big action platformer exclusive this year. It was nominated for 7 awards, and it won 4 of them, including Best Game Direction, Best Action Adventure Game, Best Family Game, and, of course, the coveted Game of the Year award. I can personally vouch for this game. I have played it. I have platinumed the game. I've played every...
Humble brag over there.
You know what? This is one of the things that I want to point out about this game. It sounds like a humble brag, but getting the platinum is not a humble brag when it's that much fun and the things happen naturally in the game. Like some of the trophies you have to kind of like go out of your way to get, but a little bit. It's not like get 10,000 kills or grind this thing 100 million times. It's things that you see in levels like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if I like kicked this ball through this thing that looks like a net, and you do it and it's a trophy. Or like, oh, can I kill?
It makes sense.
You know, it makes sense. The game emphasizes and rewards curiosity and creativity. And that's the thing that is so fun about the game and what I think elevates it to Game of the Year type material. I was explaining this to Jordan. I was like, after one Game of the Year, I was like, you got to try it. You got to try it, you know, because she's watched me play it. It just won. I was like, you know, try it. See what all the fuss is about. It's just pure joy. I don't know how to describe it any other way than like you're playing the game, you see something you want to try, or you see something that might be like a secret or a hidden area, and guess what? It is. Like 80% of the time, your curiosity and your creativity is rewarded. And especially for PlayStation fans, all of the little Easter eggs, all of the little nods to PlayStation history or other franchises, other characters, and just such care and attention to detail and just wholesome, like pure gameplay fun. That's the only way I can describe it. Pure gameplay fun. It is just joy from start to finish. So I think it's totally worthy of Game of the Year. I think everybody should go try it out, especially if you like platformers or if you're a big fan of PlayStation games, to go try it out. It is well worth your time. Another game that's well worth everyone's time is Balatro. As an indie. I think I briefly showed you this game one day. It's hard to describe. It's like
one player poker.
Yeah. So it's poker where it's kind of like they call it like a oh my gosh, what is the term? I can't remember. But it's basically you have to play like a series of hands of poker with the goal of scoring a certain number of points. And each type of hand that you play scores different amounts of points and different multipliers. And then every time you defeat one of the blind bosses, you get cards that change the way the game is played. So you might, a pair, like playing a pair, you might have a card that like gives you extra bonus points every time you play a pair, or you might, have a special card that gives you extra multipliers every time you play like a 3 of a kind. So you're encouraged to play poker in creative ways. there's all these different modifiers that get introduced to the game and different buffs and debuffs. And so you have to find creative ways to score as many points as possible in order to defeat these increasingly difficult challenges. But anyway, the long and the short of it is that won Indie Game of the Year, Best Debut Indie, and Best Mobile Game. It's like $10. Go try it out, especially if you like cards. Rich, I am surprised you haven't jumped on this yet.
Yeah, I remember you showed it to me. So
Yeah.
I've got the itch. It's in the back of my head.
Yeah, you should definitely try it out. It is a weird game to like kind of wrap your mind around.
Yeah.
Because it's not playing poker. It's like playing poker.
It's like you're playing a stylized version of poker.
A very stylized version of poker with the goal of playing hands to score points in like weird ways.
Yeah.
You're not just trying to get like the best
royal flush.
Yeah, you're not trying to get the royal flush. You're trying to like, how can I boost 2 pair hands so that they score like 20,000 point kind of thing,
Yeah.
like it's all about multipliers and things like that. Anyway, don't want to get too much in the weeds on that. Go try out Astrobot and Balatro. I also just want to point out Sony killing it at the Game Awards as they normally do. 15 nominations and 6 wins across their various games. They always clean up at these things because of their focus on typically those big narrative action-adventure games. They always do really well, so there's no surprise there. But there were some surprises with the announcements themselves. This was a really big year for the Game Awards because normally the announcements are things that people are expecting or things that have been rumored. I feel like there were a lot of really big surprises at the Game Awards this year. First up, just a few quick hits. Witcher 4 was officially revealed. That was surprising. I don't know that many people were expecting that one. And they definitely weren't expecting a brand new protagonist either.
Which is a little head-scratching.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you played any bit of Witcher 3...
The main draw is Geralt, right?
Well, that, but you knew that Ciri... It's even in the Netflix show. It's hinted that Ciri's going to take over. Like, this shouldn't have come out of left field for people.
I think, well, I mean, yes, it shouldn't have, but I guess that people were still like, oh, they actually went and did it. Kind of thing.
I don't know. It's a little iffy at best.
A little iffy at best?
Yeah.
Okay. What, the fact that people were surprised by it?
Yeah.
Maybe they weren't surprised so much as they were, like, really excited that it happened.
There's a dark side to that. Is what I'm trying to get.
There's a dark.
There's a bunch of.
Is there backlash already?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's silly.
Yeah.
Shut up and play the game.
Yeah, right.
That's all.
Or
I'm
just
saying.
don't.
Or don't.
Don't. If it bothers you that much to play as a female protagonist, then don't play the game.
Listen, I don't know how many times I got to say this. If you're sitting there like, oh, I can't connect with the character because it's a girl, you're missing the point of stories. Are you telling me you've never watched a movie with a female character in it?
Guess not.
You've never watched a TV show with a female character in it?
I watch man shows.
Have you ever... No, they have not talked to women. That's the secret.
Yeah, that's
the real secret. Because good stories, good characters are universal. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Another quick hit, Mafia: The Old Country announced as well. Set in Sicily, old school gangster things. It's not like New York City, Italian Americans. It is like old school birthplace of the Mafia.
Yeah.
Which I will admit has me intrigued more than other Mafia games has. I've never been interested in the Mafia franchise, but like the idea of like playing in Italy in that era.
I don't think there's ever been like a Mafia game set in Italy, which kind of
I don't think so either. No, it's all been like New York.
Right.
And I think the third one was like weirdly in like Louisiana or something.
Wasn't one in Chicago?
Maybe one was in Chicago.
Yeah.
But and it made me think, I don't off the top of my head, I can't think of like a single like gangster themed game.
Yeah.
That's
you think
in
it should
Italy.
have been at some point.
Right? So I feel like they kind of like weirdly found a niche that should not have been a niche.
Right. Yeah.
So that's got me intrigued. Another big announcement though, Elden Ring co-op spinoff. I don't think this is going to convince me to play those types of games, but for people who enjoy them, this is a huge announcement, being able to play through one of those really super tough games with friends now.
Yep.
So that's very exciting for them. But now to some of the big announcements that impact us directly here on this show that we're fans of. I know a franchise that you really enjoyed, The Outer Worlds, has announced a sequel.
Yeah.
And that's very exciting. It looks fantastic. A lot of great tongue-in-cheek humor. It's got kind of like a Fallout / BioShock vibe to it.
Yeah, and it's great, like self-deprecating humor and criticism at capitalism, and it's great. Just the comedy in that is A+.
So you played the first game, correct?
Yes.
And so you would recommend it? And
yes.
Highly look forward to the second one as well?
It's basically, like a happier version of BioShock and Fallout. Yeah.
And it's just, what, action RPG kind of stuff?
There are choices you make that do kind of affect, like, the ending of the game.
Okay.
But that's really kind of all it. Like, the gameplay is relatively linear.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like open world, but maybe I had it wrong.
I mean, in terms of like the major plot point, you can like travel between the different worlds, and it is like Mass Effect where you stay on a ship and.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but in terms of the story, it's fairly linear. I mean, there's some things you can do out of order, but.
See, that actually makes me more interested because sometimes those big sprawling open world games get very daunting for me. I'm in a more linear game mindset recently.
Mm-hmm.
Personally,
yeah, I would recommend it. And the humor's great.
I think I definitely have to try it out because the trailer for the second one looked fantastic. Little quick snippets of gameplay. It seemed like a lot of like unique ways to use guns and abilities and movement. So it looks like a lot of fun. The thing that was interesting to me though is that I might be wrong on this, but this is an Xbox Studios game. But they're announcing it immediately for PlayStation.
Yeah, that was weird.
Like, there's no coy, like, like Indiana Jones, like, will it or won't it come to PlayStation? We don't know. Oh, it'll come later. Or maybe we'll port it at another time. Like, right off the bat, like, the trailer dropped. It was Xbox Studios, PlayStation. I was like, it's such a weird thing to me. But I was like, it's kind of cool.
Well, I mean, I guess if you're the game studio, who cares? Like, I'm just trying to make money.
Yeah, and now that Microsoft knows that they can make money by putting all their games onto their platforms, I really do think that Microsoft and Xbox, they're going to go third party. I mean, this is it right here. This is as third party as you get.
Yeah.
When you have an announcement and it just lists all of the consoles without, no console exclusivity or timed exclusivity, just Xbox, PC, PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
I was like, that's awesome. I love that.
Yep. And it's a good game.
Yeah, and it's a good game. Another great game that was announced from the developers of A Way Out and It Takes Two Split Fiction. This is probably my second most anticipated game from the awards. It is, again, a focus on strictly co-op. It is co-op only. You cannot play this by yourself, but you can play it co-op online or split screen. And like with It Takes Two, you only need one copy of the game. That's
great.
That is so incredible. Like, I can't stress to people how amazing that feature is.
Yeah.
I used it for playing with my brother in Chicago. Like, I was like, let's play It Takes Two. I'm like, no, you don't got to buy it. Just download this thing and you play my copy of it. It's so great.
Yeah. That is definitely a huge plus for them.
Yeah. They kind of have to do it because it's multiplayer only.
Yeah.
It's it's not like massively multiplayer. It's co-op, so like you need somebody to play it.
Right.
So it kind of does benefit them, but it's a really smart business strategy, and it's got this developer a lot of praise over the years. We played A Way Out.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. I've played It Takes Two twice with two different people. Both times incredible. And this game is very similar to It Takes Two and A Way Out, where, like with the previous games, each person is a unique character with their own separate abilities, and they do their own separate things. It's not like Sonic and Tails, where like Tails is just following Sonic everywhere.
Yeah.
There's no remember in Time Splitters where you're just like a duplicate of player one? It's not like that at all.
No. There's definitive roles and definitive abilities that each of the two players have to work together for.
Yeah, it really emphasizes the cooperative part of playing with somebody. So I'm really, really excited for this game, and I think this developer has really carved out a perfect kind of like niche for themselves.
Yeah.
With those like co-op only multiplayer games. So really excited for that one. But the big announcement though, Naughty Dog showed up at the end of the awards to announce Intergalactic: The Heretic Project. Rich, what were your initial reactions to seeing this trailer? This is the first new franchise since 2013 when The Last of Us came out.
Oh, wow. Yeah, in terms of a new franchise.
Uncharted
yeah,
4 and The Last of Us 2 and remakes. So it's been 11 years since the last new franchise from Naughty Dog. Thoughts?
It reminded me of Guardians of the Galaxy, but instead of the main character being from the 70s, it's from the 80s. And that like is a home run with me because I love the 80s and I love Pet Shop Boys, which were featured heavily in the trailer.
Yeah.
So that was definitely a way to my heart there. And it looks like a cool game. The graphics are very realistic. It's crazy how well they've gotten that. And it's in space. It's checking off a lot of boxes that I like in terms of my video game decisions. So I'm happy with this from Naughty Dog.
So sounds like a day one buy there potentially. I know it is for me because I'm just so excited to see Naughty Dog do something different again.
Yeah. That's a nice, refreshing breath of fresh air.
Yeah, they kind of got away from it recently. It used to be, historically, it was like PlayStation 1 had Crash Bandicoot, PlayStation 2 had Jak and Daxter, PlayStation 3 had Uncharted, PlayStation 4 had The Last of Us, kind of.
Yeah.
It was kind of split in the generations. And then PlayStation 5, they didn't really have a new franchise. And I've been waiting, like, yes, do I want a Last of Us Part 3? Sure. Would I love more Uncharted games? I think it would be tough to do it, but I would absolutely play. I would absolutely
How
play them
many
again.
more cities are there?
There's so many lost cities. But I'm excited to finally see them do something different, and it is so different.
Yeah,
you know, they've never done anything like this before, like space sci-fi.
Yeah, they've never done any sci-fi. I don't think.
Yeah, the last two games have just been like everyman is hero archetype.
Yeah.
And this has still got an every man or every woman kind of vibe. There's another game people won't play. But I'm really excited for it's kind of got this like retro, futuristic, sci-fi vibe. It looks like there's going to be an emphasis on melee combat because they the main character had that like big like energy sword.
Yeah.
That looked like audio equalizer bars.
Yeah, it did.
Did you know? Like,
I wonder if there's going to be something with the sound. Yeah.
I feel like there's got to be, right? Because they featured the song. They had the sword that looked like the little audio wave thing.
Sony was featured like
Sony
heavily.
was featured, yeah.
The actual Sony logo.
Yeah, but also other brands too. Like I caught Adidas.
Yeah.
I saw Porsche. But like the whole thing just like feels like you'd mentioned, like it's the 80s. And the quote in the beginning of the trailers from the ancient Cimmerians from 1986. And I'm like, an ancient race from the 80s? And like in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm wondering if this is part of the classic Naughty Dog, like heavy focus on narrative. Like, I wonder if there's going to be like some crazy thing where like this ancient Cimmeria is like actually Earth from like hundreds of years ago, you know?
Well, it did show a moon-like thing exploding.
Yeah.
I wonder if that means like Earth has like got lost or something.
Yeah, I'm just
Earth is doomed and humanity had to leave Earth.
Something like that, right? Like there, there's going to be a heavy focus on narrative and like a really heavy hitting story. So I'm just excited to find out more. I don't think we'll be getting any news anytime soon, though. This has been in development for 4 years since 2020. They announced. I'm not expecting anything until like at 2026 at the earliest. Judging by how they normally do their releases.
All right. Well, speaking of expectations, we got to leave it there because we expect one more portion of the show before we go, and that is the non-fortune cookie odd news.
We've been talking about cool and its ramifications and how it applies to the hip scene. But maybe you could give us some examples now of the opposite of cool, uncool. Just exactly what is uncool?
My nipples look like milk duds.
Holy shnikes.
It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
It's not of this world. I don't know exactly what it is or what it's doing, but this is not human intelligence, okay? It's not human intelligence we're facing.
How you doing? Me? I'm doing great.
Manda bastards. I don't make this stuff up.
I'll take a pound of nuts.
That's a lot of nuts! That'll be $4, baby! You want fries with that?
I seen the celery dance across the baseball fields.
You had me at meet tornado.
No, go past this. Past this part. In fact, never play this again.
Okay. What does that mean?
And now it's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
So sit back, get everything you need to get from the kitchen. Be sure and empty the bladders, go to the bathroom, because you're in for a hell of a ride.
Woo, odd news.
That's right, everyone. It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news here in this segment. Rich researches the news, he reads the news, and I react to the news. He finds a weird and wacky story and keeps it hidden from me, which ensures that all of my reactions are my genuine gut reactions to hearing this story for the very first time. I don't know what's about to happen. You guys don't know what's about to happen. And even Rich doesn't know what's about to happen because these stories always take us down wacky and wild paths. And I'm ready to get started. Where are we heading to and why?
We're actually going to New York in this story.
Ah, the Big Apple. Wait,
Yeah.
New York State or New York City?
New York State.
Okay. So some random place.
I just realized this is a story I should have brought your mom in for because she loves Star Trek, right?
She does, yeah.
Yeah.
Should I fetch her?
I don't know, maybe. But this is also a warning tale for fans of all genres, of all franchises all around. Because, there are super fans out there, they live and die, by what the franchise is doing. They make constant references to it. They, own memorabilia. They splatter their walls with all the fan art and stuff like that.
Right.
Well, one of the things that these super fans do is they will probably look to make a vanity license plate in honor of their franchise.
Sure.
That
makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
If you're big fan.
I've seen them before, yeah.
So we're going to talk about the case here. This is, let me get her name right here. I got her. Where's her first name? I had her first. I have her last name. Where's her?
Mystery.
Here it is.
Mystery perp.
Yeah. This is why. Beta Kuri. This is her real name.
Beta Kuri?
Her first name is Beda. Beta?
Beta? Beta? Beta?
Beta? Is it Betamax?
Betamax?
No.
I don't know.
I think it's Beta Kuri, if I had to take a guess.
Okay, Beta Kuri.
Well, for this New York woman, what was supposed to be a fun little thing has turned into a lot of tears, unfortunately.
Oh, no.
That's
sad.
She is a big Star Trek fan.
Okay.
And she thought it would be really cool to have a vanity license plate in honor of the USS Enterprise.
Right.
Do you know NCC 1701?
Yeah, that's the number of the USS Enterprise.
That is the official is their the model ship logo. Yep.
Right.
So she decided to get the vanity plate in New York State, NCC 1701.
Okay.
And it was awarded to her. So everything was looking good. But unfortunately, you are not the only super fan, and other people know the number and can use it for nefarious activities.
Oh, no.
Yep. Unfortunately, criminals and other lawbreakers have been using fake license plates that use NCC 1701 as a way to get around cops following them, and also listing that on forms where they do not intend to follow up with the law.
This cannot be made good. It's shameful. It's a shameful, shameful day.
That's a shame. So this person didn't do anything wrong.
No.
They just wanted a license plate, a custom license plate to honor their fandom, and it's been used against them by ne'er-do-wells.
Yes. And unfortunately, Star Trek, I guess the actual like company that makes their manufacturing, also sells novelty plates with this number, with this designation NCC 1701. So you could also get a fake one and try and slap that over your license plate, do crime,
and
then they think it's this woman in New York.
So has this person? So, but hold on. This can't be like the only person in the country who has this combination. But apparently, this person is the
Maybe
one
because it's New York. Maybe that's another factor too. It is the most popular state.
I guess, yeah. No, that'd be
Other
California.
than,
but
I don't know. I guess in
they're
California,
close, though.
In California, they're not that smart. They're like, they didn't think of this. In New York, this is a way to get around crime.
Yeah.
This is some New York thinking right here.
So what actually happened though that brings this story to us though? It can't just be the fact that they have similar plates, right?
Well, unfortunately for this Beta Kuri, she has been just harassed all over the place in the last 5 years.
That sucks.
She keeps getting parking tickets. She keeps getting traffic citations. She's even gotten threats from Ohio and Canada where someone has been committing crimes and putting those fake plates on their car.
This cannot be made good. It's shameful. It's a shameful, shameful day.
But again, is this the only person that has this plate number? Like, how is there nobody else in the entire country?
Maybe they don't. Maybe is there like a? Maybe there. I don't know. Maybe there is like a guidelines that maybe you can't.
Like other states, they're like, no, you definitely can't do this super common.
Yeah, maybe there is
arrangement of letters, and yeah, maybe.
And maybe this, or maybe it's now. Maybe now it's a thing, and this lady snuck in before it was put up as a rule.
Maybe. So yeah, but in the meantime, everybody's. So how do you even combat this?
Yeah.
Like, why doesn't she just? Can you just get a new vanity plate?
Well,
new plate.
First things first, she has to address all these crimes. She has a full-blown full-time attorney, Kenneth Mullins.
Oh man.
Who literally has to represent her constantly in court.
She's just got a guy on retainer because she's being taken to court so often. That sucks.
How very New York.
Right. Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah. This Kenneth Mullins has been in court several times to show that this is not the same person that's been committing crimes. Beta Corley is a grandmother in Huntington, New York.
Okay, so she's like older.
Yes.
I don't know why I was picturing somebody middle-aged, but this is like some like granny.
Yeah.
This cannot be made good. It's shameful. It's a shameful, shameful day.
Yeah, I don't think grandma's like committing crimes in New York and Ohio and fleeing across state and country lines. Uh-oh.
Yeah. According to Mullins, she amassed over 190 New York City parking tickets.
Whoa,
that's all. Come on.
Although I have an idea here for her, she can park for free anywhere now because what's one real ticket mixed in with 190 false ones? You know, it's hard to keep track of all that.
Yeah,
I can see her bending the rules a little bit, but like, there's just all these false tickets.
Yeah.
But there must be at least one or two real ones in there. You know what you catch my drift?
Well, you know what? You get so frustrated at that rate. Yeah, screw it. Let me get one that's real.
Exactly.
But that's unrealistic. 194
That's wild.
New York City parking tickets.
I mean, the authorities have to look at it and be like, okay, like this is clearly a clerical issue. Not somebody actually racking up that many tickets.
Also, according to Mullins, 23 states have at some point searched her license plate.
Wow. She is. You know how the FBI has like the most wanted? She's actually the most wanted, and just nobody realizes it.
And I know who it's coming from because I've back-traced it. And I know who's emailing and who's doing it. And you've been reported to the cyber police. Consequences will never be the same because you done goofed.
Yeah, I hate to say it. She done goofed with this decision. She thought it would be nice to have a Star Trek license plate, but this is causing so much catastrophe.
I feel so bad for her, though. I mean, she's just a normal person.
Yeah.
You know? Man, people ruin everything.
I can't believe how like the scope of this.
I know.
Like I would think like, okay, maybe like a couple, ne'er-do-wells, maybe like 5 to 10 of them. Maybe they do it like 5 to 10 times each.
190 though.
Yeah, over 190 New York City parking tickets and a search from 23 other states.
That's really widespread. That's literally half the country.
Yeah. So let that be a lesson to you. You may not want that vanity plate after all.
Man.
The good news is, though, from the lawyer Kenneth Mullins, is that she is finally going to get different license plates, and she will eventually be switched out of the vanity license plate altogether.
It's about time.
But, it is. It's like we can't have anything good.
No, we can't. No, we don't deserve nice things.
There's your story. We just can't have anything good. And it's not Philadelphia.
This was New York.
This is New York. So screw you, New York. Look what you did to this poor Star Trek grandmother.
This grandma was just trying to have a good time.
We threw a snowball at Santa like 35 years ago. You harassed a poor Trekkie grandmother this year. Shame on you, New York. Shame.
Yeah, for real.
This cannot be made good. It's shameful. It's a shameful, shameful day.
Take that. Hope you're happy with all your Yankees and Mets stuff.
They probably are.
Go spend $700 million on another ball player.
But leave grandma out of it.
Yeah. Grandma didn't get run over by a reindeer. She got run over by a vanity license plate lawsuit.
Truly.
Yeah.
190 tickets. Woo.
That is absurd.
I still am having a hard time wrapping my mind around the fact that, like, she is the one.
You made it sound like she's Neo.
No, but, I mean, like, seriously, though, like,
I know Kung Fu.
Out of, like, 330 million people, nobody was like, oh, I want to make this my vanity plate. But then she did, and she gets the entire country worth of crimes.
Yeah.
Like, it's just hard to wrap my mind around.
There must be some sort of, like, list of things you can't do.
And somehow
New York let it go through the cracks. I don't know.
You're right. There must be some kind of list of, like, common, like, letters and numbers where it's like, no, you can't do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
You can't do, 007 or something.
You can't do password as your password. Oh,
no, I thought you meant password as a license plate.
No, you can't do that either.
Wait, what's my password? Let me look outside.
Yeah, let me check my car. No, but they must have something like that. Like, when you go to a website, you're like, you can't use your name, you can't use your email, you can't use this. It must be something like that to prevent situations where people are using common strings of letters and numbers, and somehow she slipped through.
Yeah, and caused all this headache, which is a shame because, we're big super fans of certain franchises.
Yeah.
That sounds like something one of us would do. Like, maybe I would get Jedi or something. Or
right, yeah, and then all of a sudden you
would get Mordor or something.
Yeah, and all of a sudden there's 200 parking tickets.
In your mailbox.
Yeah.
Everyone loves Mordor.
I'd be panicking. If I got that many tickets, I'd be like, what do I do?
Yeah. Well, apparently your first thing is you better hire a lawyer on 24/7 retainer.
Man, that's expensive.
Yeah. Well, hey, you got $700 million to share around on certain players, so go ahead, New York. Have fun with that.
Yeah.
But there you go, folks. Yep, that is true. That is a true odd news story for you. You better think twice about the vanity vanity plate.
Yeah.
And vanity places you go to. I don't know if there's vanity places. You show up and you're like, hi, it's me. It's a mirror. Basically, a vanity place would be a mirror. Right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
You're like, hi, how you doing? It's me. Hey.
And what, you just go there and talk to yourself?
Yeah, it's a vanity place.
So that's a vanity place.
It's a mirror.
Make sure you have your vanity plates for when you go to your vanity place.
There you go. So there you go. That's what we have for you in the odd news. Make sure you think very critically about the next license plate that you decide to register for. And all right, on that note, we got to start wrapping it up. I'm thinking of vanity place. I got to go to my vanity place.
You gotta go to their yeah.
Yeah, I'm losing.
Check in with yourself at the vanity place.
Right, I got to check in with myself, make sure I'm all good. But if you guys are all good with our show, thank you for supporting us. Make sure you go to our website, thecrispynoodle.com. Make sure you follow us on all the social media, hubbaloo. But most importantly, make sure you have a way to get the podcast sent to you every week. 2 main ways to do it. First one is on YouTube. We put the video podcast up on YouTube. So go to our YouTube page, Crispy Noodle Podcast. Hit that red subscribe button, and you'll get the podcast sent to your YouTube account every week. And you can watch us on TV, too, because there's the YouTube TV app. So if you want to watch us on TV, you can. It's cool. Second main way to do it is on Spotify. We put the video podcast up on Spotify, but also you can put Spotify on in the background and listen to us as an audio-only podcast. And with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, you can take us on the go with you. So when you need to re-register your vanity plate and go to the DMV, you can take us on the go with you for moral support.
Yes, absolutely. So many ways to check out the Crispy Noodle Podcast. If you need to get in touch with us individually to share your sports, entertainment, or odd news stories, you can find us on X, formerly known as Twitter. I'm at Mikey Costanzo, MikeyCostanzo.
And I am at Rich Liebig, RichLiebig. Find us on X, on Instagram, and let us know what's happening. And if you give us a topic to talk about on next week's episode, we'll give you a sausage shout out. Make sure odd news comes to me so that Mikey doesn't see it. And we'll have some fun with your topic. So let us know what you want us to talk about on a future episode. All right, but right now I'm starting to get a little winded out there. I gotta go check my vanity plate.
Go to the vanity place
and make sure I'm all right. So that'll do it. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys
later. Bye-bye, all you fine peoples. Good night.
Some of us have great stories, pretty stories that take place at lakes with boats and friends and noodle salad. A lot of people, that's their story. Good times, noodle salad.